This is an awful camera angle for this start. But it is lights out here in Shanghai. We don't know what's going on. Jurgen has made his way up towards the front, having a spectacular start getting past TNKK. TNKK is now battling with Melvin. Melvin has it down the inside. He's going to maintain that position, it looks like, as they make their way through 2, down towards turn 3. And indeed, Melvin has trickled his way forward to P3. Heiner and Lanny side by side. Heiner is unfortunately round. Keeps out the barricades, though, gets the car moving. He's going to get it out of the grass there. Lanny up to P4, Hellfire P5, Ricardo P6. We can see a very late lunge from Tim there. Ooh. If Hellfire wasn't there, that would have been a beautiful move, but unfortunately, he's made a classic mistake of forgetting someone's there, but TNKK's fallen all the way down to P7 from the lead. He started on pole. He's now P7 with his teammate. Unfortunately, not a position he'll want to be. He was next to his teammate in Singapore, and they came together. Okay, make their way through. Heiner's made his way past. Hellfire is round. And he's missing a front left end plate, unfortunately. He's going to get the car moving. But, oh, it is... Early laps on this track on the hard, on any tyres, are absolutely miserable. Side by side with Ricardo now, making their way up towards turn 1. A little bit of contact there. Tim's going to maintain the inside line. Leave Ricardo just enough room. Tim actually backs out there. Not really helping anyone. We'll see, though. TNKK here. Pull up to Lanny, only half a second off. We'll see if the McLaren here, this car, should be much faster than the Haas in a straight line. We'll see if it can manage it. For about 5/10 behind, DRS opens up. Lanny has no DRS to defend with. But TNKK actually still falling back. Lanny committing a lot of his battery to this defense, or might have incredibly low wings, which is a strategy that Lanny does love to employ. Just going for low wings to keep cars behind him on the straights. It'll slow him down in the corners. It is a bit, it is infuriating to be that car behind. TNKK, meanwhile, about a 10th off of Lanny, but an incident has occurred behind. Tim loses traction once again. Doesn't seem to have any wing damage on the right side. Can we see the left side? Yeah, his wing... Is he missing an end plate? Oh no, he's missing an end plate. That's mighty unfortunate. Tim's probably going to have to pit for that. Getting ever so closer. 4 temps. Now getting it down to 3.5. Looks down the inside. Wants to go for a lunge. Can't manage it. Unfortunately for Melvin, he's discovering that the Alpine has no ability to overtake in a straight line. TNKK, on the other hand, is discovering that his McLaren can, and he gets past Lanny, Ricardo, and Zippy, battling through the hairpin. Zippy's going to have the outside line here. It is going to be a bit of an awkward scenario if they're still battling through turn 16. Fortunately, they're not. Zippy's now going to get closer and closer, though. He's going to have the DRS for this corner. He's going to be getting... Yellow flag furback. Looks like Tim has had an issue, and it is a virtual safety car. And unfortunately, that's going to stop Zippy's attempt. He might have been wanting to go for an overtake into turn 6. I can imagine no one's going to come to the pits now. Yeah, DRS is re-enabled, and we are underway. Once again, and Zippy finding a diabolical timing there on Ricardo to just absolutely jump past him, and he's up to P5 off of the virtual safety car restart. Brand running Fanatec, because Corsair, to my knowledge, are pretty good. Oh, as Jurgen has a huge snap of the rear there, allows Melvin to close up closer and closer. He's going to have that gap down to about 2.5 temps. Coming through turn 11 and 12, we're going to see if he can just get on the traction a little bit earlier. He's going to have that dirty air, though. He is on the hards. He's not going to have a great run of it. But it's a little bit better than Jurgen's. He might start burning that ERS. Indeed, it looks like he is. He's going to have that DRS. He's going to go alongside the Red Bull driver, giving that Alpine... The Alpine is giving absolutely everything that it can. That Renault engine is screaming out in French despair. But right now, it's French applause as Melvin makes his way up to P1. Right, as we can see here, these two continue to battle, though. Melvin a little bit of a lockout. Jurgen's going to try it around the outside. He does have a much wider line, though. We might see if he gets a better exit. It looks like he does get a little bit of a better one, but Melvin keeps it ahead. They make their way now down towards turn 6. Melvin is going to maintain that position, but that's... You can imagine it's not going to be long. The Red Bull just lurking behind the Alpine, getting ready, charging up ERS, waiting until they make it to the main straight, just to absolutely send it with the help of DRS. Jurgen's first helping of DRS, and it's going to absolutely send him forward. Extra 12, maybe 15 miles per hour is what I was going to say, but unfortunately, Jurgen has had a massive snap of oversteer there. He's lost the front grip. cover off. Sorry, no. Might very well be trying to replace the front wing there, but we do not know. Did not see the pit stop happen. Zippy now getting an overtake done on Ricciardo. These three starting to bunch up as Heiner's up to P5 once again. Making moves and finding positions. Heiner up to P5. Closing that gap once again. He's getting it down to around 3 tenths. We're going to want to see if he can go for something. A yellow flag further back. Ricciardo's running fine. Looks like Jürgen must have had a moment, and he's been caught, unfortunately, by Heiner. And Heiner here is going to go for the overtake here. As they're battling alongside through the second sector, Heiner gives up the position, lets the Red Bull pass, knows he doesn't need to go for it. He has the much fresher tyres. Something interesting's gone on here. TNK going for the overtake on Melvin. Touched the grass quite a bit. Seems to be struggling for grip massively here. Went across the curb. Locked up quite a bit, and both these drivers are into the pits. When they went in, Heiner, meanwhile, was going for the overtake on Jürgen. Gets it done. He's up to P5 once more. The medium's working out very well for Heiner as he's made his way forward, overtaken both Red Bulls. Ricardo up to P6. Jürgen again looking to just be struggling massively for traction, and unfortunately, it's cost him his front wing. He's going to be coming into the pits. He could run in P7 and just stay there with the wing damage. TNKK overtaking Melvin on the main straight. Braking just a little bit later to hold it into the hairpin, but Melvin's going to be looking to try and swap that position back as soon as possible. Looks for it into turn 16. He's smarter than that, though. He knows they'll come together. He also knows he'll have DRS up towards turn 1. He's going to get closer and closer. He's going to be burning that ERS. Lanny into the pits. TNKK takes the lead of this Grand Prix. Melvin's going to try and stick it around the outside. He's just not close enough to go for it, though. And now, the lead of this Grand Prix is as well, as Jürgen has retired from the Grand Prix in the pit lane, and that's going to be another position for Hellfire. It's been hurting 3 weeks since Belgium, but wrist is just burning it and hurting. Oh, that sounds awful. That sounds like you sprained your wrist. So it's going to come down to the aerodynamics to see which car's better in that straight line and who's got a stronger straight line setup. So far, it's looked like Lenny has had a diabolical setup for straight lines. Like his Haas can go forward for damn near ever, but that would leave him vulnerable in turn 2 and 3, and Heiner's found the overtake there. Lanny's not going to let it go, though. Keeping pretty close to the inside of Heiner. It's going to turn to the outside for the next corner. We're going to see if he can lunge into turn 6. Heiner, though, goes for a defensive move, cuts across, back towards the racing line. Lanny is forced? Yeah, okay. Lanny is forced to stay P4. As Melvin now re-overtakes for the lead into turn 1. They're side by side once again, though. TNKK is going to have the outside for the next corner. Melvin's going to try and keep it on the inside, try and defend that line. Painted the car not completely silver, and he wasn't happy with it. So he's gone out of his way to make it silver again. Melvin continues to stay ahead of TNKK for the time being. Looks like he's found a strategy that works for him for defending P1. We're going to see how long he can hold it, though. TNKK P2, Lanny P3. Battling alongside Heiner once more. Hellfire a 10-second for speeding into the pit lane, but I'm sure that's not going to bother him too much. Through 11, Heiner's going to try and get as close as he can through 12 and 13. The DRS detection zone they've gone through already. Heiner's going to have DRS, and he's had a strong exit. In fact, the slipstream might be just enough as the Ferrari considers. In fact, he is going to pull out towards the right side. He's going to go for it. DRS is open. He's just barely ahead coming into the hairpin. Takes it very, very tight. Leaves as much room as can be expected, really. Lanny and him having a little bit of contact there, though. But Lanny comes out ahead in 16. What a brilliant bit of racing from these two. And it looks like... Who's got the DRS? Neither? Neither, apparently. Since neither there, looking to get the DRS on the main straight. Lanny's going to be back up to P3. Heiner's going to have it down the inside here. Or down the now. Outside. For a turn. Oh, no! For a turn, oh no, everybody. As Heiner has unfortunately had a moment. Get back within DRS. Close that gap down over the last couple of laps and just absolutely send it into the hairpin on the final lap. Zippy, meanwhile, is going to be chasing down Lanny here. 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths, 2.5 tenths separate them. Zippy having a strong exit from turn 12. Through 13, they have come, and they're making their way down the main straight. Zippy's going to have the DRS. It's going to be absolutely wide open as he sends it down the inside, getting past the Haas driver. That's a pretty strong run through the hairpin, and Lanny's going to be stuck behind him for a little while. But we'll see Lenny having a pretty good run out of the hairpin, and he's closing that gap on the pit straight. He'll have DRS now. He's going to try it down the inside. He is, and he's past the McLaren driver. Before they even make it to turn 1, Haas and McLaren swapping back and forth. Again, Lanny involved in a lot of very strong racing this week. Good chunk of full battery there, so he'll definitely be able to go for it. Meanwhile, Zippy making his way into the hairpin with Lanny now just barely behind. Zippy getting the overtake done with the assistance of DRS there. It's lap 27 of 28, everybody. We're on the penultimate lap. We're going to see who comes out on top. Melvin just falling further and further back here. Lanny finding the switchback once again on the pit straight, using that DRS, getting past once more. He's just a master of using that pit straight today, apparently. You get a move done on him on the main straight, he takes it straight back on the pit straight. He's going to keep on doing that, keep on trying to find that position back. So long as Zippy lets him, why shouldn't he? Since he won't be able to go for the overtake again, or won't have an opportunity to reclaim his position, this lap, he can give the position to Zippy, but he can't afford to do it next. As we're in the closing stages, Zippy has gotten past. Before turn 14, the McLaren is going to be defending into the final lap. But we're going to see if Lanny can get his, almost his patented switchback on the pit straight here. Gets within 3 temps, gets within 2 temps. DRS wide open. He's going to try and set it down the inside once again. They're making their way back up towards turn 1. Side by side once again. Lenny's going to have the inside. Taking a much tighter, a much shorter run through turns 1, 2, and 3. But Lanny comes out behind Zippy. Zippy just sending it in with a bit more speed. He doesn't mind having the wider angle if he comes out ahead beforehand, and he has. Lanny, though, is now going to have the opportunity to go for the overtake on the main straight, not Zippy. Down the main straight, Melvin's closed that gap a little bit this lap, finding about 3 temps, but it's not going to be enough. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. TNKK is going to have to make a mistake in the final few corners, and I can't imagine he would. Making his way through turn 14, 2 corners remain for this McLaren driver to take the win here. Making his way through the final corner, and Melvin just can't manage it. And TNKK recovers back up to P1, qualified on pole, got knocked down in the start, but he re-overtook Melvin to take home the win here in Shanghai. Melvin P2, Lanny and Zippy now are going to be battling for P3. It seems like Lanny's come out ahead from oh my god, I'm blanking. From the hairpin, and he's up to P3. Zippy P4 now. It's between Heine and Ricciardo for P5. I can't imagine Ricciardo's close enough to send it, though. Indeed, he's not. So I believe these will be your race results, but there is one more interesting factor, to say the least, and it's going to be stops, with Hellfire doing the 9-stop strategy this race. No, it's going to be fastest lap, currently held by Heine with a 1:33.1. He slowed down there almost to give the position back to Ricciardo, but it looks like he didn't slow down enough. And maintains P5, Ricciardo up to P6. Hellfire, though. Yeah, Heine slowing down massively towards the line. Looked like he was trying to give the position back, but he just mistimed it by about 3 temps. Hellfire, meanwhile, going towards the final corner here on his run for fastest lap. No! No, it's happened again. Oh, he just has a massive snap in the final corner. And unfortunately, he can't take fastest lap. So all he can manage, I say all he can manage, but P7 is a good chunk of points for Mercedes.